My topic today, I think, is one that's going to hit home for a lot of you. And this is, just so you know, this presentation has a very high level of difficulty because not only am I going to be operating one laser pointer, I'm going to be operating the second one here because I have some things I want to make sure I cover. But the topic of my training today is actually something that you may have heard me discuss before. I've done once before. I call it the 4 enemies of success. And I think it's a really important topic because a lot of what you're learning about here today is really kind of the how-tos of the business. And, you know, we've got some great trainers that are coming after me that are going to talk specifically about exactly how it is that we do this. And I think before you really get that training, I think it's important to be able to understand some of the philosophies of this business. And that's really what these 4 enemies of success are, because, you know, the philosophies of this business, or your philosophy in general, it's how you view life and it's how you view this business. And I think we focus in the wrong place sometimes because we focus on really kind of, you know, a lot of times our businesses are run by our feelings and our attitudes, kind of how we feel every day. And I think the thing we have to understand is if there is any secret to success, it's having the correct philosophies, because your philosophy really drives your feelings and drives your attitudes, which every day will drive your actions. So that's the key. And you know, I think unless you change the way you think, right, no amount of how-tos are going to do any good. And I think the reason for that, you know, very simply, is that it's not that what you're doing is wrong, it's not that the actions are wrong, it's that we don't do those actions long enough to actually see the results show up. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think by understanding and becoming aware of some of the things that I'm going to discuss, and we're going to have fun, and everybody here is going to relate to everything that I share with you. Because I promise you, every leader here and every single one of you, what I'm going to share with you is happening to you every single day. And some of you feel like you're the only one that it's happening to. And I'm telling you, you're definitely not the only one. But you know, before I get into it, just understand this, that opportunity is a two-sided coin. And on one side, as great as the opportunity is, in direct proportion on the other side is what you want and what you're not going to want to do to get that. Does that make sense? So doesn't it make sense if we have this tremendous opportunity that Mr. Breitbart has talked about and that we know that we have, doesn't it make sense that we're going to have to go through a lot of crap, right? We're going to have to go right through the garbage dump to have success. So, you know, so that's really the key here. So let me get into really what the 4 enemies of success are. But before I do that, let me dispel a misconception. A lot of you see people on the stage and hear these stories, you know, 5,000 customers in a year or 10,000 customers and this and that. And you don't relate to that because you're going through such struggle every day. And you feel like these people that they just went straight to the top of the company and they had no issues and they didn't go through what you went through. And this is what you think success looks like, right? But in actuality, this is really what success looks like, right? And I think when we're in one of those little loop-de-doops, right, we feel like it's the end of the world. But the longer you get into the business, you know, you don't remember that. And I think what all these little squiggles are, those are the 4 enemies of success, okay? So, enemy number 1 is rejection. Listen, I hope this isn't news to you, but more people are going to tell you no than are going to tell you yes. Have you figured that out yet? Yeah. Who's new? Who's here first time today? More people are going to tell you no than tell you yes. Okay, that's your first lesson in this business. But here's the thing. That's what accounts for the big money in this profession. See, professions that, you know, think about like retail sales. Does anybody know any millionaire retail salespeople? No. Because it's very easy. They face no rejection. People come to them. They already know what they want. See, in our business, we face a tremendous amount of rejection. Now, I remember hearing that in the beginning, and I've been in sales my whole life, and I remember thinking, no problem, right? Because that's what I do, I sell. The problem is this, is that when you are rejected by people that you know, it's different than when you're rejected by people you don't know. Like, I used to be in medical sales. I got rejected by a doctor, I didn't care. I wasn't even walking out of the waiting room, and it was already it was off my mind. But when it's people that you know, here's the problem. You have expectations, right? We expect people to say and we expect people to do certain things. Now let me tell you a story. You saw the sneak peek already. So many of you have heard the story of my mom and my dad. And I started building a business for them back in July of last year. We launched the state of New Jersey. Had them sign their bill up. They thought I was crazy. They didn't know what I was doing. I said, just give me the account number. I signed them up. And went on to actually building them a successful business. And they're area directors in the company today. One of the top area directors in the company. So it was natural progression for me that since my mom and my dad were seeing this business that was actually starting to produce revenue for them, and they were excited, I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to give this gift to my sister and my brother-in-law. My sister and my brother-in-law have 4 kids. He's in the construction industry. He's got a debilitating back industry. He doesn't know how much longer he's going to be able to do that business. And as we all know with the economy the way that it is today, the work's not there. And they're really just kind of, trying to reevaluate their future. So saying that, is that not a no-brainer that that's somebody that you're going to just help out? So I went to my sister and my brother-in-law. I said, listen, my sister's name's Tammy. I said, Tammy, all I need you to do is just give me the account number. She's like, well, I got to talk to Jerry, my brother-in-law. She told me he handles the bills. I'm like, all right, good. So go talk to him. Give me the account number. I'm like, look, I'm going to sign you up in this business just like I did mom and dad, and you don't have to do anything. I'm going to do all the work, and all you have to do is cash the checks. Does that sound like a pretty good proposition? Yes. So, don't you know, about an hour later, I get a text message from my sister. Not even a phone call. Text message, and this is what it says, something to the extent of this. Talk to Jerry, wanted to thank you, but we're actually okay. So, I sat there looking at my phone for a couple minutes, and I didn't want to respond right away, because I knew what I wanted to respond right away, right? And I said, you know what? I said, I understand the way this works. I said, that's part of it. You can't have these expectations of people because they do what they do. Now, let me fast forward to today. This is a picture of my sister and my brother-in-law, and their 4 kids, right? And they're at Disney World, in case you can't tell. And I show you that picture because they eventually did get into the business. And because of North American Power, they are literally 50 customers away from area director, about 800 customers. Because of North American Power, this past year, they thought for the first time in almost 8 years they were not going to be able to afford to go to Disney World. And because of North American Power, that was one of the main reasons why they were able to go, because of the income that they've earned from this business. So, and that didn't happen right away. It took a couple of months before they actually came to me. So, I share that with you guys because you just have to understand that that's going to happen to every single one of you. You're going to have somebody that you're so excited to approach about this business. I mean, I'm talking about like that one person when you get in, you're like, you know what? This person is in. Friend, family member, you're going to go, you're going to build a multi-million-dollar business with. I mean, you don't even have to follow the script because, like, you know what I mean? Like, this person's just in. And you're going to go to them and they're going to be so negative. Not only negative to the point where they don't want to do it, but they're going to be negative to the point where they want to try to get you to not do it. How many people have had that happen to them? Let me tell you a story. I had a friend of mine in the early days of this business that I approached, right? And he fell into this category. He was so negative, and he's like, look, he goes, I'm going to do some research. I said, don't bother. I said, first, we're not looking for scientists, so there's no research necessary. Second of all, you're not even interested, so I'm not looking for your research. But nonetheless, the next day I get an email from him, the equivalent of a 5-page letter that this person did on researching the industry and deregulation and North American Power. He wrote a thesis paper on why I should not get involved in North American Power. It is unreal the extents that some people go to in your life to try to take this away from you. How many people have experienced that? Guys, here's what I found. A lot of these people in my life that were so negative about it, they were like the brokest people in my life. Don't broke people always have the strongest opinions? You know what I learned? Let them be broke. You can't win an argument with a broke person. You're not going to do it? Let them be. Listen, is there anything worse than being broke? No. Well, you could be stupid, I guess, right? Stupid and broke? That's got to be the bottom, right? Unless you're ugly. Broke and stupid. Listen, you don't need to say anything to them. That's punishment enough. Just let them go. Guys, listen. You got to understand one thing. Before you buy somebody's opinion, take a real close look at it and realize you buy their opinion, you buy their lifestyle. And when you start being aware of these things, you start to understand the people that are giving you their opinion, in their life. So here's one that I love. I'm gonna give this to you. This will be my gift to you. This is part of my training. How many people have ever had somebody say, "You still doing that energy thing?" And you want to punch them in the face? Here's what I said. Now somebody says, "You still doing that energy thing?" I say, "Yeah, why? You still doing that employee thing?" They won't say anything else. Look, people are going to try to knock you down. Every single day, people are going to try to steal your dreams. Here's what I've learned. Be a contrarian. Go against the tide. Can we all agree that most people are not happy, healthy, and successful? Yeah. So why would you want to be like them, and why would you want to think like them? The fact that most people are opposed to what you're doing, that should be your first clue that you have something wonderful. Yes. Right? And if you can stick it out. And understand, when somebody rejects you, they're not rejecting you. What it is it's actually more an indictment on themselves. They don't see themselves having the ability to get involved in something like this and be successful. That's really what they're saying more than anything else. So don't make people feel bad. Right? I remember in the beginning, I was like, I got so mad, like, I don't want to do it. Like, fine, be broke. Right? Like, I would make them feel bad for not doing it. And then what happens is you can't go back to that person again. See, professionals in this industry, they remove themselves emotionally from what people say. They don't have expectations. Leave the door open. Look, time changes for people. Circumstances change. People's lives change in 30 days. You can go back to that person, they could have lost their job or something else, or maybe your story gets better. Maybe you have more success, maybe there's more information, maybe you have more confidence the next time you approach them. But don't close that door, leave it open, be okay. No means no for now, it doesn't mean no forever. How many people here want to decrease the effects of rejection? Increase your exposures. Activity. Activity is the cure to any problem you will ever have in this business. I get people all the time that call me up. They want to complain about this and this and that. This person's not doing this. He's not getting in. He didn't listen to the call. She's not this, right? Here's the question I asked them. How many people did you talk to today? You want to know what the answer is every single time? 0. None. How many people did you talk to yesterday? 0. See, guys, if you're stuck on what you've done and worried about what other people, right, our expectations are not doing what we want them to do, every day you need to talk to new people, and it is your willingness to do this and be consistent that will determine if you're successful. I say a serious part-timer in North American Power should be talking to 2 to 4 people per day. Now some of you hear that and you're like, how's that possible? Well look, you're not even talking to 1 person a day right now. And you think you're serious about North American Power and you're not talking to 1 person per day. Here's my question, how long does it take to talk to somebody? If you do it right, 5 to 10 minutes, right? Think about this. If you didn't even work 10 minutes a day on your job, how much would you get paid? How long would you have a job? So why do you think this is any different? Guys, look, work in this business is one thing and one thing only. It's talking to new people. This, necessary, not work. You getting on a training call, necessary, not work. Work is talking to new people, and you've got to just be willing to do that every single day. Here's the hard part. Don't focus on results in the beginning. It's really hard to do. You got to realize, guys, this is not a job. You're not trading time for money. You are an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneurial time. Anybody here that's ever built a business or owned a business, in the beginning, many of these people will work feverishly all day long and not even take a check. Right? Because they know they've got to build that business up. Now, why are we willing to do that? Why is the entrepreneur willing to do that? Because they want to build a business that at some point will start paying them more than what they actually are worth. Create momentum, create leverage. You know, be able to get paid more than you're worth. Be able to step away from. How exciting would it be to have a business that's paying you thousands of dollars a month in residual income, and you can go travel for as long as you want, not have to worry about it. But in the beginning, you got to understand you're going to do a whole bunch of stuff you're not going to get paid for. So don't focus on the results in the beginning. Enemy number 2, deception. People will lie to you. Your friends and your family will lie to you. How many people, right? This is fun. Invited somebody here today that didn't show up. Oh, you too? Guys, this is going to happen to you every single meeting that you will ever have your career in this business. If you want 2 people to show up, you better have 4 that are going to tell you they're going to be here. Guys, that's the way it works. In the beginning, before I understood this, it was so fun. I would have a guest that I would invite that I was so excited about. Like, you know, one of your top 10, that person that if they got in, that's it was over. And I would invite them out to our meeting, and they'd be excited to come out. Our meetings in South Jersey are Thursday. And so I would start calling them on Tuesday to confirm. Just want to confirm. They'd be like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm so excited. I'm really, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to meet these people. This really makes a lot of sense. And I'd be like, awesome. And then Wednesday, I'll call them again Wednesday. I'd be like, just want to make sure we're still good. Yeah, I've been thinking about this, and I really think this is something, saying all the right things, and we're getting excited. Anybody had this happen? Thursday comes around. Now, I don't want to seem too needy. I'm not going to call again, so I text in the afternoon. You good? Yeah, we're good. Going to be there. Awesome. I mean, look, I'm getting ready, and I'm like, this is it. I'm like, all the hard work, this is it. It's going to finally happen. I'm shaving in the mirror. I'm practicing my area director acceptance speech. They didn't even show up yet, right? So I get to the hotel, get there early, 6:45, right? Send them a text, just to let you know I'm here. Want to know let you know what I'm wearing, where I'm going to be standing. I'm going to literally be, as soon as you walk in, I'm going to be right there. I don't want you to miss me. Get there, and then what do? Let's be honest. You go, you want to know who's presenting. Who's presenting? Oh my God. So in, right? Because it's got to be a good presenter. There's good and bad presenters. Good presenter, done. I'm walking around, I'm telling everybody, I'm like, man, you got to meet my guest. He's a stud. You guys have similar backgrounds. I can't wait. They're like, yeah, I can't wait to meet him. Right? 7:10 rolls around. Still not there. I'm getting a little worried. 7:15. Still not there. Call. Hey, where are you? Oh, right around the corner. Good, thank God. I'm gonna have a whole meeting up. Right? 7:20. Still not there. 7:25 doesn't show up. Right? I'm texting now, no response. Call, no response. They're like, Bob, we got to start the meeting. I'm like, listen, he's right around the corner. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All right, 7:30, nothing. They're like, dude, we got to start the meeting. I'm like, I'm going to stand out here. I'm going to wait for him, right? Look, I see it every week. People in the lobby of the hotel pacing back and forth. Right? Checking their phone. They want to make sure how many bars. Right? Looking out the door. This guy at? Right? It's literally like the Bermuda Triangle right around the hotel. It swallows them up every week. Gone forever. They don't show. And I'm so dejected. I go from being the highest high to the lowest low imaginable. I don't even stay for the meeting. How many of you have been there? Be honest. I go home, and now I'm questioning if this thing's really going to work for me. Guys, listen, you got to understand that this stuff is going to happen. It is absolutely going to happen. And, and the best part is, right, what do? You call them the next day. And then they pick up. You're like, dude. And then they give you the dumbest excuse. You're like, oh, hit and run, carjack. Road wave got me on the way in. Look, people are going to say, your friends and family, they're going to say they're going to show up for your home meeting and they won't. They're going to say that they're going to sign up for your customer and they won't. They're going to say that they're going to listen to the overview call, that they're going to watch the webinar. They're not going to do it. You just need to understand that. Deception, number 2. Number 3, apathy. The definition of apathy. lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. This will be a wake-up call for many of you. Many of the people you approach will suffer from this. How many people has ever given the overview call to somebody and have them not listen to it? Come on. Really? That happens. It's frustrating. You give them, you call them up, you say, hey, you share your why, you do a textbook. I need 4 minutes. I'm busy right now. Okay, great, here's the number, right? I'll listen to it tonight. They don't listen to it. You call them tomorrow. Oh, I'm busy. Listen to it today. They don't listen to it. They don't respond the next time you call them. You start texting them. You spend the next 2 weeks trying to get this person to listen to a stinking 4-minute phone call that they won't. Who knows why? It just happens. It is what it is. Look, it's not just the people that you approach, guys. It's the people that you recruit too. But let me give you something that you can do to try to minimize what I just shared with you. Do everything in your power to get people to listen to the call right on the spot. And if they don't have the time to listen to it right then and there, you say, great, when do you have time? And you don't just give them the number, you don't just give them the information and put the power in their hands. You keep that sense of urgency and you say, what time is good for you? I'm calling you at that time. That will help you a lot in minimizing that, but it's up to you to do that. Also the people that you recruit, guys. Let me show you something here. This is a print-up of, as of last week, a breakdown of my organization. Now this is going to be confusing to a lot of you because there's things up here that aren't on your report because I started under the old model, so the numbers are kind of jived up. But these are the numbers we're looking at here. I got just under 23,000 customers today. I've personally recruited 121 people.
Wow.
Now, here's the interesting thing about that. Only about 30 of those 120 ever did anything. So let me say that another way. I've prospected, recruited, and trained 90 people that have never even gotten a single customer. Do you know how maddening that was in the beginning? How frustrating is it for you right now? Because here's what happens, guys. That understand that every single time you recruit somebody, you got to spend time doing all those things. And I was genuinely excited about every single one of them. Thought they were going to be the one that got things going. I probably never even talked to 50% of them a week after they signed into the business, if I didn't know them. I could go around the room right now, I guarantee you, every leader, top area director, regional director in this room has recruited close to 100 people. Now, why do I share that with you? Because you've recruited 6, and you don't understand why this isn't working. And you're frustrated. Guys, this is about perspective. This business starts out as a numbers game, but it will eventually evolve into a people business that is built and maintained on relationships. But you've got to go through massive amounts of numbers to identify the people that you're going to start building those relationships with. Why do 90 people not get one customer? Because they're idiots. Nope, dumb, and stupid. People will say, you'll have some people that will say all the right things. Every time you call them, they're excited. Right? Every time they're at every training call, they're coming to every meeting. Look, they know the training videos better than you do. Watch it again, but they don't do anything. They never get a customer. It's so frustrating. You can play a role in minimizing this, though. Leadership in this business is one thing and one thing only. It's influence. It's you being able to get somebody to do something that they would not have done if you were not involved. The first 72 hours of a new rep's business are life and death. Life and death. It is your responsibility. Our vice president says it all the time, John Castino, you need to be a responsible sponsor. You need to take time to help people, teach them the correct way to approach. Practice that with them. Help them make that first couple of calls. You need to show somebody immediate results. And you need to have the mindset that you only have a very short period of time to do that in. My goal with everybody that I approach, that I recruit, help them get their first couple customers, at least their first. Because if you can get 1, you can get 10. The first customer is the hardest because it's learning the correct way to do that. It's to help them to get a couple customers, and then it's also to find at least one person that they know that wants to do the business. Because here's what that does. If you can find one person for your new person that is building the business, it creates a fear of loss. Because they see it actually working. And they may be uncoachable right now, but I promise you, if they introduce you to one person that goes out and signs up 10 customers, watch how coachable they get. Because now you're like, look, you could have made this much money if you would have been qualified. You could be making this much money if you were a director. But look, you got to have a sense of urgency. Here's something that was taught to me that stuck with me forever. Treat every person that you recruit like your next national director. Treat them like a national director, but expect that they're going to quit tomorrow. Think about that. Treat them like a national director, but operate with a sense of urgency as if you've only got one day to show them success. If you have that type of a mentality in your business, you'll go a long way. Some of the other reasons for apathy, uncoachability. Look, you can't help that. Somebody just doesn't want to follow the training. Some people have ego, right? Sometimes, they think that they're above some of the things we ask them to do. They don't want to ask for a favor. They don't want to use the overview call. They don't want to not explain it, right? You run into these things. Look, I was one of them. These are some things that sometimes you can't deal with, but you got to just understand they're there. Now, some of you are sitting in the seat and you're thinking, well, I don't have an ego. I'm not arrogant. My problem is I'm shy, right? I'm timid. I don't like talking to people, right? How many people have ever had somebody say that to them? Can I tell you something? Shyness is also a form of ego. Shyness is you using your personality as an excuse for you not to be all that you can be in life. Shyness is you using your personality as an excuse for you not to get uncomfortable. Because at some point in your life, something happened that you didn't like how it felt, so you became shy, so that you don't get outside of your comfort zone, so that you never have to feel that again. If you're going to be successful in this business, you will be uncomfortable every single day. I don't know what it is that's going to make you uncomfortable, but the fact that you are uncomfortable should be good. Doesn't it make sense if you're going to have something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done? That's what's going to happen here. Here's the interesting thing about comfort zone. Your comfort zone is a self-imposed prison on yourself. If you really think about that. We live our entire lives seeking the approval of other people. Other people's words and opinions of us are our worst enemy. How many people, let's be honest, right? Here's the interesting thing. Can I tell you something about other people? They don't care about you. You want to know who they care about? Themselves. Here's an interesting story. You may have heard me tell this before. I read an article about the average funeral. Do you know the average funeral, less than 10 people cry? And the number one determining factor as to whether that person will go from the service to the burial, do you know what the number one determining factor is? Weather. So here's what's interesting about that. You're going to live your entire life worried about what these other people in your life, friends and family, think and feel about you. And then you're going to die at some point. That happens for all of us. They're going to come to your funeral. They're not even going to cry. And many of them will be checking their Facebook page on their phone in the church, or playing Words with Friends with some other idiot that you know that's in the aisle in front of them during your service. They're going to walk outside with their family. It's going to be drizzling out. And you want to know where they're going to go? You want to know where they're going to go? Instead of seeing you, this is your friend since 4 years old, you've lived your entire life with, your best friend. Instead of seeing you buried in the ground for the last time, he is going to take his family to Chuck E. Cheese. Where a kid can be a kid. Blame him? Enemy number 4, attrition. Definition of attrition The action or process of gradually reducing the strength or effectiveness of someone or something, here's the key, through sustained pressure or attacker pressure. Now, what's the attacker pressure? The attacker pressure are the 4 enemies of success. How many people ever recruited somebody that said this to them? Oh, you don't know who you just recruited. You don't know who I know. Shake my hand. I'm going to be your first national director. Right? You ever have somebody say that to you? They want to know the record for regional director. What's the fastest it's been hit? Okay, right? You guys schedule the next day. You schedule his or her strategy session for RD in 14 days. Right? You're going to draw it all out. I mean, you're so excited. You literally hug each other. You just met, but you hug when you leave the meeting. And then that's the last time you ever hear from that person. How many people have that happen to them? I'll give you a little clue, guys. The second you hear that, just tell them it's not for them. Save yourself all the frustration. That's your first red flag. How about the person that gets 10 customers their first week, gets their bonus? You think, man, now they're going to really kick it into gear, and that's it. You never hear from them again. Guys, look, you got to realize that I've built my entire business 10 customers by 10 customers by 10 customers, all the way to 23,000. Brick by brick by brick. That's the way that this thing works. It just is going to happen. I've literally had area directors of mine disappear. I've got an area director today that if you know how to get a hold of them, let me know, because I don't. Here's one that's good. How many people have ever had this happen? You have somebody that literally has never did anything in the business and call you up and they want to tell you that they're quitting. Is that hilarious? An NAP secret agent, right? They're operating in the dark. You didn't even know they're right. Dude, it cracks me. Here's what I say. I say, quitting? I didn't even know you started yet. Don't you have to start to quit? Look, it's going to happen constantly, over and over. You have to accept it. A lot of the people that you introduce, they don't have a reason why. You hear a lot of talk about a compelling reason why. They don't have it. A lot of people don't have a positive dream or a vision for their life. They never develop it. Look, you need a white-hot burning desire to make this thing work. You need something that's going to make you get out of bed early. I like to say mind over mattress. You need something that's going to get you up in the morning. Look, you trying to build this business without a strong reason why, it's the difference between being on a treadmill and an escalator. On a treadmill, you might work hard and work up a sweat, but you're not going to go anywhere. That's the importance of a why to your business. And look, if you don't have a why, the people that don't have a why, as long as things are going well, they're in. Right? They're plugged in, they're excited, but then the moment something bad happens, they're gone. Knocked out of the box. That's why it's so important. This business is just hard enough to weed out the people that don't really want it. And that's going to be the case over and over again. Consider some of these things to minimize attrition. Although this business does start out as a numbers game, it eventually becomes a business that is built on relationships. I talked about that already. And guys, this is what you have to be aware of. People will quit on an opportunity, but they will not quit on a friend. How many people here have people in their business that they can say for certain are only in this company now still active because of the relationship you formed with them? Guys, you want to know one of the cool things about this business? Most of the closest friends in my life today I've met in North American Power, or as a result of this business. Relationships are what make this company and this opportunity strong. So why do I tell that to you? Because you've got to change your thinking. You've got to stop thinking about yourself. You've got to work hard to serve other people. If you worry about your people's checks more than you worry about your own, you will never have to worry about your check. Show people. Show people that you care about them. Right? People don't care what you know until they know that you care. Another key is involvement. You need to get people involved. Now, what does involvement mean? This is involvement. Plug them into positive association. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with in life. And if you don't like that, then you better start spending time with 5 better people. I wanted to hang around with Bob Doherty and Kevin Marino, my mentors in the business. They were exactly where I wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time, every chance I got, just to be around them. Look, if you ever heard me train before, you know that I don't sugarcoat things. And I will not tell you what you want to hear, I'll tell you what you need to hear. So I preface that by saying this. If anybody told you that you can become an area director, a regional director in this business without attending meetings, they lied to you. I hope that's not news to any of you. Now, you can get involved in the company and make some money, but if you want to become very successful, you've got to be involved. You've got to be on calls. You know, you must get your new person on the first training call available. Not even an option. First call, they're on. And then you have to create a strong reason why. Create that sense of urgency and value for why they need to be at the very next training if possible. Now, some of you are in areas where we don't have weekly trainings and meetings, but you're here, so you're still doing your part. Get on the calls, but people need to be involved. New people start the business high on excitement, but low on belief. 10 on excitement, 2 on belief. And what happens is they go out every day, they talk to people, they get rejected, they experience adversity, and your excitement level will always lower to the level of your belief. And if your belief is never built above a 2, your excitement's at a 2, you quit. You're not doing the business anymore. So the key is this, guys. The power of association will build belief. Every call you get on helps your belief. Every meeting you go to, every training, big trainings. Listen, does anybody here believe a little bit more in what they're doing since they've been here, before they came? You never know what's going to do it. It could be a training. It could be, Ashley Rosser's training. It could be a testimonial. You never know what's going to do it for somebody. But it happens by osmosis. Just being around people that have a higher level of belief than you, it makes your belief level rise up. Guys, positive association is like a blood transfusion. It's cleansing. It's renewing, right? Most people that are in these new people's lives, they're not building them up. They're tearing them down. They're making fun of them for wanting to make something of themselves. They're being negative in their life. So you need to be around these positive people. And, when I first came out, when I first got into this business, if you would have told me that I could have got paid on 20,000 customers, I would have told you you're crazy. I would have hoped that was true. And if I would have never have came to a meeting or training and never met Bob Doherty and Kevin Marino, it would have never have happened for me. But you know what happened? I met them, and they did it, and it showed me it was possible. And they took me by the hand, and they showed me every single thing that I needed to do and say. They showed me exactly what they did. They navigated the minefield for me, and here I am now, 20,000 customers. You know what? You know what they said to me very early on that you need to say to people in your business that completely made the difference for me? They told me they believed in me. Even when I didn't believe in myself. And I'm telling you right now, as a leader in this company, the most powerful words that you can say to somebody is, I believe in you. Because they are not getting that from the other people in their life. Some of the people that they sleep in bed next to are not giving them that. So you better pray that you give it to them or that they get it from somebody else. You building without belief, guys, it's very difficult to do. So guys, you have to understand these 4 enemies of success, but more than understanding them, you have to include them as a part of your eventual success. Every one of you is going to have a ratio. Every one of you is going to have a number of people that you're going to have to recruit to find those 5 serious people. That's all you need. 5 serious people to become a regional director. Now the best part is, you don't even have to introduce them yourself. Most likely they're going to come through your team. Look, it took me 13 months to recruit my friend Mike Lawson, who introduced me. Every 60 to 90 days, talking to him, right? No, eventually yes. Now I got lucky with my friend Brendan Fagan. I introduced him my first week in the business. Now here's the thing, of the 90 people that said no, Those two people that I just told you represent over 15,000 customers for me today. Two people. You come back 5 years from now, that'll be over 100,000. Those two individuals will put my kids who aren't born yet to college and will buy them their first cars. I promise you they will be Uncle Brendan and Uncle Mike. No doubt about it. Look, I've got two close friends of mine here. My friend Rick in the front row, Rick Wade. My friend Beverly in the back, Beverly Wade. Beverly and Rick, we all work for the same company. It took me quitting my job to get them to even come out to the meeting. 2 years. They're my next two superstars. Beverly, I don't know if you're Brendan or Mike, but you know, whatever. These are my next two superstars, guys. How long are you going to wait? Guys, you got to have patience. Right? It's easier said than done, but I'm telling you, everybody you know will do this if you stick in long enough and you're serious about it. It's going to feel like it takes weeks and months, right? It's going to feel like it takes forever, and then you're going to get there, and you're going to look back, and it's going to feel like it happened overnight. Let me show you an interesting slide here. You see that? This is my residual chart. See this here? You know what that's called? That's called quit your job. Okay. Month of September, I made twice as much money doing this part-time as I did full-time in my career in medical sales. Each and every month since then, I've made more money each month than I did my first year in North American Power. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not looking for applause, I'm just telling you, you're right here, and you're here, and you're here, and you're frustrated. Well, guys, you just got to stick it out, because eventually you'll have something like that. You want to know what your job is? Be here a year from now. The name of the game in your first year is survival. I know you don't like to hear that. It is. You got to just be here a year from now. Work on yourself every day. Go out and take action every day. Get better. Right? Now, most likely, and there are exceptions to every rule, you probably won't make the big money your first year. You're just not. That's your year of learning, right? Of growing. Now, the good news is you will earn while you learn, so it's not like you're not going to make money. But guys, you got to have that long-term mentality